Good morning, everyone. So, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Why responsive design?
Yes, sir.
So, anyway, we went through HTML and CSS. We learned how to design website template by positioning the items in certain places and then creating a nav bar or changing the different CSS properties of HTML elements. Now, so before we venture into PHP, I would like to go through responsive web designing. Now, responsive web designing, the foundation is on CSS and HTML itself. And really there is nothing new that you require to understand or design a responsive web page. Additionally, we will be using Bootstrap, which is a well-known established framework for designing responsive websites. So we'll cover this and then we'll move on to PHP. So the first question is, why do we require a responsive design? Now, just disclaimer, this PPT is from online. So on Coursera, there is a course on Bootstrap, and I have taken some of the slides from there. So the question is, and some of them are from Bootstrap directly, and some are from W3. So we'll go through this, and once we understand the concepts, then we'll move on to practicing as usual. So the question is, why responsive design? So basically nowadays, if you see, people are using different kind of devices. So someone use mobile, someone is using iPad or tablet or laptop or desktop. Then there are in every category also there are different sizes. So mobile sizes range from 3.5 inch to 7 inch, and then tablet also range from 7 to 11 inch. Laptops range from 11 to almost 17 inch, and desktop range from usual 16 17 inch to up to 34 inch. And similarly, if you see, there are signage board, like signage board you can see in hospitals or airports. They also are used for displaying any content. So if we responsive design means that you can design a website content so that it adapts itself as per the viewport. So viewport is basically the screen size. The visible screen size is the viewport. So depending on the viewport, if our application could adjust itself so that it looks good on any kind of device that we throw at it. So that is the goal. So now if I create only one size which looks good on desktop, but it doesn't look good on mobile, so that I have to zoom the content to understand and then scroll left and right. So that is not very good. So that's why the responsive web design is required. Let me show you some example. Now consider this is one a website. Now I will enable the developer mode and enable the mobile mode. Now is it visible to the contents now? Now to view the content, now you need to zoom, and not only zoom, then you need to slide up and down to understand where is what. Okay. So therefore, this kind of design is not good for mobile. It is only good for desktop environment. Now we'll go to second website. See, even when I change to the mobile mode, and you can see the content beautifully. It's not like you need to change the, you have to zoom or change it. Even menu has been changed, and they are also they also look perfect. Now, so next example. Now this time I want to use the developer tool. So I'm trying to shrink the website by shrinking the browser. So you can see the content is shifting itself. The content is fluidic in nature, and it is trying to shift itself. But after a certain size, it becomes a static. Okay, so this website is also fluidic in nature, but not fully compliant to a responsive web design. Okay, so these three are the example. One where the website is not mobile compatible, and if you change it to mobile mode, then you need to zoom and then scroll to view the content and understand the content. Second example we saw, which is a fully responsive website, which changes its size depending on the screen size. And the third one we saw that it is fluidic in nature, means it adjusts, but after a certain width size of the screen, it won't go below that. So these are three type of designs. Now you can understand clearly that why responsive design is required. So traditionally people will create a website for desktops and then try to fit it into a mobile screen. And in fact, you would have seen cases where there were certain websites which was made only for mobile, and they were like m.google.com or m.gmail.com. So they created a mobile version exclusively, and then desktop version was separate and mobile version was separate. So m.gmail.com was the like mobile version, and www.gmail.com was the desktop version. But now with the so many responsive web design frameworks, we can create one website which will fit on all the devices. So that is the approach. Now, how can we achieve responsive designs? So first thing is grid system. So basically the entire screen can be converted into rows and columns. So like if you remember tables, HTML tables, then in that we can, I had told you that people used to use table also for the layout designing. So same way grids also act. There are rows and columns, and you can add as many rows you want. Okay, so you would have seen an example of one page websites where the website is only on one page. There are menus, but the content is only on one page. So that kind of website, I will give you an example. So like this is a conference website, and if you go one by one, keep scrolling, and the entire website in a single on a single page. So it's a one page website, and it has been made using Bootstrap, and then multiple rows has been used. The grid system is like that. This is one row, then this is one row, and then for address there is one row, and so on. So people keep adding rows in your website, and in one page itself everything can be added. Okay, so this is example of a one-page website which is has been designed using the grid system of Bootstrap. Next thing is fluidic image. So basically, fluidic image is image that will resize itself depending on the screen size. Let us see an example. Okay, now focus on the image. Okay, so you can see that the image is shrinking itself. So depending on what size we are using, the image is shrinking itself. That is called fluidic image. So fluidic image adjust themselves as per the screen size. And then most important is the media queries. And why it is important? Because how will we know that what is the size of a device, and we have to adjust according to that. So media queries are basically CSS through which we can know about the screen size, and depending on that screen size, then we will change the layout of our page. Okay. So any question till now? Okay, no, then well, we'll move. Yeah, so basically media queries, I will just repeat, it is based on CSS to apply some style based on the size of the viewport. So basically the size of the screen is queried, and depending on what is the size, the CSS style will be applied. Okay. So like if it is a bigger screen, we can change the size of the any div, and if it is a smaller screen, we may increase the size or font size of the div. So that is the way we can do it. So media queries starts with @media, which is for the viewport, and then we check the width of the screen. So if minimum width is this, or minimum width is 1200, or minimum width is 576 for a small screen. So depending on what size of a screen is there, we have set classes. So we'll see. Okay, so Bootstrap is one of the most popular framework for developing responsive and mobile first website. It only uses HTML, CSS, and JS for designing the web page. From a developer perspective, we only need to know the classes. So there are already HTML tag in which if you add class, so it will automatically become responsive. So Bootstrap is a front-end framework for web designing, and it is based on HTML and CSS, and we can easily create responsive websites with Bootstrap framework. Now remember, Bootstrap is not standard, so it is not a standard declared by W3C. It means by default, the browser won't have any support for Bootstrap. So therefore, for using Bootstrap, we need to add external Bootstrap CSS and JavaScript file. So anything which is not a standard, it means browsers won't by default support it. So you need to add their CSS or JS file for working with them. So like JavaScript is a standard. So by default, JavaScript is supported in browsers. But if you want to use jQuery, which is based on JavaScript, you need to add the jQuery library into your website or web page. Boring. Now, so this meta tag is important. So let us understand what this meta tag says that. So it says that meta tag name equal to viewport and content equal to device width. So depending content equal to width equal to device width. So depending on what is the device width, adjust the width of the of the screen, visible screen basically. And initial scale equal to 1, it means zoom level, initial zoom level will be 100%. So if you remember, like for displaying you in a bigger screen, I changed the zoom level on the browser. So it says that initial scale will be 1 and shrink to fit no. So do not shrink the content. So this line is important for our responsive web design. We must add it in the header. So this line says that the width will be equal to the device width. Viewport means the visible screen, which is, and the initial zoom level will be 1 and shrink to fit is no. Okay, so before we go into Bootstrap Grid, I will just take you to Bootstrap website. So this is the Bootstrap website, and there are two ways you can go ahead with. One way is that, as I told you, that you need to add the Bootstrap CSS and JavaScript file into your project. So either you can do it in either of the two ways. One is that you can download the Bootstrap. Okay, so it will give you all the required CSS and JS file, and which you will have to include it in your project. And then whenever you are designing a page, you have to link those files. So like link as reference equal to js/bootstrap.mean.js. Okay, so either that, or Bootstrap has already hosted their JS and CSS file on CDNs, Content Delivery Network. So we can directly add their URLs in our project. Okay, I will repeat. So basically, if you want to use Bootstrap into your project, so there are two ways. First way is to download the Bootstrap files and then add it to your project. Okay, so there will be CSS file, JS file, which you need to add in your project. And next part is that another way is that Bootstrap has hosted their JS and CSS file on Content Delivery Network, CDNs. Okay, so you just copy paste their CDNs into your website. So like click on copy, and then okay, so like here I simply copied that hosted CSS, and similarly I will copy this hosted JavaScript and add it to my project. That's all we need to do. So in this way, Bootstrap framework is included in my page. After that, I can start designing my Bootstrap page. Did you get this? Okay, so many no's. Is it due to the voice or you did not understand this? Example will go. Uh, okay, let us first focus on voice. Is my voice audible now? Okay, so and now I will repeat the thing that I have said. Okay, first, so Bootstrap is a external framework. It is not in a standard. So by default, it is not supported by your browser. So if you want the Bootstrap to work, you need to include the Bootstrap CSS and JavaScript file into your project. Okay, so let us see an example. So there are two ways. First way is that I download it. Okay, so let us download it. And after I have downloaded it, there are CSS and JS file. Okay, I will simply copy, create a new project. Suppose I am creating a new project, boot, and copy paste it here. Now, next part is I will open that project. So I will open this project. Now I will create my first page. And then uh, now in the head part, uh, we need to add that meta tag. And then we need to add the CSS and JS. So mainly you need to add link as a reference equal to CSS slash bootstrap dot mean dot CSS and relation equal to style sheet. Okay, this is done. And then inside body at the bottom, we'll add the script files. So a script source equal to js slash. So the most important thing is we also need a jQuery, because Bootstrap is based on jQuery. So we'll have to go to jQuery. Save it. Come back here, j slash jQuery. So we need to add the jQuery. Then we need to add the okay, done. So this is how it will be done. So we require bootstrap.css, jQuery.js, and bootstrap.min.js. And then for a responsive web design, we require the viewport, this meta tag with the viewport. So these 4 inclusion has to be done in your website. After that, you can start with your Bootstrap designing. So this is one way where you are downloading the content, and then that content you are um, um, adding through this link or a script tag. Okay, now another way is that you can use this already hosted versions. Okay, so like if you go to here, go to home page, and it is get started link is there. So you simply have to copy this, copy, instead of downloaded version you add this. So this is added, and similarly for the other you add here, copy, and then instead of these 2 version just paste it. Done. So these are the 2 ways. Got it now? Once these has been added, now we can start the web designing part, because these are not standard, so we need to add their files into our project. So this is how I add their files. Either I download them and then link it here, or I can use it already hosted version and then copy paste in our project. So these are the 2 ways how we can use Bootstrap into our web page. Now is it clear? Okay, now there is a third way. If you are using this Visual Studio Code, okay, so what you need to do is, I will go back to our original project. So if you are using Visual Studio Code, so go to this extensions, and in extension you can search for Bootstrap 4, and you will see this extension by Ashok. Okay, can you see this? Click on this and click on install. So you can install this Bootstrap 4 from here. Now this is not Bootstrap, this is just a helper. Okay, this is an extension for helping you write Bootstrap code. It is not Bootstrap directly. Now once it has been installed, So you just click on install and it will be installed. Once it has been installed, then you have to go to your project. Inside project, you create your file index.html and then you write B4. So B4 is for Bootstrap 4 hyphen dollar B4 hyphen dollar. Now you can see here it says Bootstrap master template for the second one, B4 Bootstrap master template. If you hit on this, press enter, and automatically it will add the Bootstrap CSS and the JavaScript files. Okay. So this is the second way. So what is the second way? Sorry, third way. So you need to control A, I will delete it again. So you need to add extension Bootstrap 4. I have used Ashok's extension. So you can use any other if you find it good. So I use this Bootstrap 4. I clicked on this, I installed it. Okay. So once installation is finished, I will go to my page. I will go to my page, type B4 and B4 dollar, B4 hyphen dollar. So you can see B4 minus dollar, it says Bootstrap master template. So your Bootstrap master template, I will select and press enter. And automatically it will add the Bootstrap CSS and JavaScript. Is it fine now? Do you understand? Did you understand this? So this is I will say this is a better way, because suppose every time you want to design a new page, then you go and download or add the CSS file or JS file. So instead you just type B4 hyphen dollar and it will automatically add the latest JS and CSS file. Okay. Now, so this is how we will start with adding Bootstrap to your project. Now let us go back to our PPT. So Bootstrap is basically, Bootstrap has a grid system, and grid system is designed for responsiveness, mobile first approach, and it is fluidic in nature. It means it automatically adjusts its um, uh, size depending on the screen size. Now, so if you want to use Bootstrap, basically all you have to do is add classes. Okay. So let me give an example to better understand this. So suppose this is my page. So I will create a button. So button and click submit, or I am a button. Okay. Now let us see how does this look like. I will close all the So this is how it looks like. I am a button. Now let us add some okay, so I added two classes. One was BTN class and one was for BTN success. So BTN success just colors, change the colors, and BTN was button which changes the layout. Can you see how the button has changed drastically by just adding two classes? Now I want to add I want to change the color. So I will just change it to some other keyword and the button color is changed. Okay, so what basically I want to say is that in Bootstrap, you just have to add classes to existing HTML tags and it will automatically change the appearance as per Bootstrap standards. Now, let us move to our Bootstrap grid. So for Bootstrap grid, the entire screen is a container. So how do we declare a container? By div class equal to container. Okay, so depending on the screen size, the size of the container will also change. So let us see. So this is a so this is the chart. If you see here, this is a chart which says that depending on what screen size, what will be the width. Okay, so this is depending on what screen size, what will be the width. So this is the container width. Now the container can be divided into multiple rows. Like this is row 1, then again I will add another row 2. So like in row 1 I can add a image gallery. Okay, in row 2 I can add some paragraphs. On row 3 I can add some like posts from Facebook or Twitter which I had shown you. In next row I can add the list of implies, something like that. So I can keep adding a row on my inside my container and it will keep growing like one page website design. Now each row is divided into 12 columns. Okay, so column 1 to column 12. So this is how a Bootstrap grid is, that we declare a container. Now container, there are two types container. One is fluid, which will take 100% width, and another one is only container, which will change its width depending on the screen size, which we saw here, that what is the screen size and accordingly what will be the size of the container. Okay. And each container, in each container I can add a row can be as many as I want. I can keep adding row, div class equal to row, div class equal to row, and so on. But the columns are fixed for a row. So the maximum there can be 12 columns, and each column I can add some, each column I can add some content. Just a minute. So each row can have maximum 12 columns, and each column can be used for storing some data, or we can use a combination of columns to store data. So like I can use from column 1 to 4 for showing some image. I can use 5 to 8 for showing some content, and 9 to 12 for showing some advertisements or a video. So depending on the what our layout I want to design, I will use this columns. So I can leave 2 columns. I can start from directly from 3 columns, and first content may be first content may go up to 4 columns, and so on. So anyway, we'll see it in practice. So let us start the practice. So B4 and container row. So I declared a container, and then inside this I created a row. Now let us see div call div class equal to column, and in this I have written some content like column 1. Now this column 1 I will repeat, Control C. Let us change column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, oops, 12. Let us add one more, 12 and 13. So I have added a total 13 columns, and for each column I have just for now for testing purpose I have just written column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. But you can add any content in this. Now let us see this. Now column 1, column 1, column 1, column 1, so column, and after that that number means I will be only using one column. If I write 2, it means I will be using 2 columns. So we'll see one by one. Let us first see with column 1. One more thing, since border is not there, it is difficult to understand. So I will add border. So I have added some border to the columns. Okay, so now it is visible that this is my row, outer row, and this is column 1 to 12, and then 13 comes into the next row. As I said that maximum it can contain a 12 row. Now is it clear? So basically I used one column each for storing the content. So column 1 has one content, again next one is also of column 1, and so on. So each width is up to column 1. Now next part is I can change the column width. So suppose I want to change this to 4. Okay, so if I change it to 4, it will take up to 4 column length width. So let us see. So you can see that it took up to 4 column width, and remaining 3, 3, 6 and 2, 8. So 8 and 4 which column 1 took. So 8 and 4, 12 total. So this 12 will remain fixed. But for each content, you can change how much columns can it take. Is it clear? Okay. Mohit has asked, how do we know what CSS name to use? Do we have to search for it in W school every time? Not really. Do you have to search dictionary for ABCD? No. Or any usual words? No. So it's all about practice. Once you practice, you will know all the classes. So first few times you will have to check, and then after that, with practice, it will be easy. Another thing is that you can use, like I used this Bootstrap for extension. So it will automatically give me most of the classes. I do not need to remember what class it is using. Okay, I will show you all example. Everything will be clear. So this is the example of that container has a row, and each row can have maximum of 12 columns, and then that column we can either take one column for each content, or I can convert, like for column 2 I can add 5. So after that, column 1 is taking 4 space, but column 2 is taking up to 5 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 column space column 2 is taking, and similarly I can change for column 3 for the remaining 3. Okay. Now, so this is how the row and column is there, but it is not clear how it will be responsive. So still we have not seen how it will be responsive, means how it will I mean, if I decrease it, still you can see that it has gone very bad if I decrease the size. Okay, so what is the way of making it responsive? So we'll see next. So this is the Bootstrap grid structure. So there is a container. Inside container, I can add as many rows I want, and then each row can have maximum of 12 columns. And we can use a combination of columns to display any information. Now, Bootstrap, so now if we directly go by the size of the screen, so there are so many screen sizes: 3.5, 3.7, 3.9, 4 inch, 4.5, 5 inch, 5.2, 5.5. So we cannot, and every new mobile is launched with a new size. Okay, so therefore it is difficult to go by the individual sizes of the device. So that's why Bootstrap has basically created some size classes depending on the pixel width of the screen. So depending on what is the pixel width of the screen, this is the size classes. So there are 4 size classes. In fact, now there are 5 size classes. So one is extra large, one is large, then medium, a small, and then extra small, XS. And for denoting the classes for a screen, we use column hyphen SM or column hyphen MD. So these are the notations for the screen size. SM is for a small, MD is for medium, LG for large, and XL for extra large. Now for XS, we do not write anything. We directly write column hyphen 1. Like here we wrote column hyphen 4. Next. Okay, so now we know the size classes. Now we will try to make our website responsive. So how can we make it responsive? So let us start with column 1 everywhere. So what I want is that if my screen is quite big, means desktop screen, then content can be shown is in individual columns. Okay, so column 1 will come here in just a minute. So column 1 will come here, 2 will come here, 3 will come here, and so on. But once my screen size decreases to like from extra large to large, for each row, I will reduce the number of columns. Okay, so in each row, instead of 12 columns, it may be like 8. And once it reduced to MD, means medium device, it will reduce to 6, and so on. So I will keep reducing it. So let us see the example. So this is the default column 1. So I will change it to 12. What does 12 means? That on the extra small screen, take the entire 12 columns. So all 12 columns will be used for showing the content. Now on a smaller screen, matlab more than the extra small, use 6, means half. Instead of full screen, use half. So 6 column it will use. Then on medium screen, use 4. It means 1, 2, 3. So there are 12 columns. So if I am using 4, means 4, 4, 4. So 12. And then on large screen, use 2. The column size 2. So it means there will be total 6 sections. And then on the extra large, use only 1. So this is how I'm defining my content layout. So what I am saying is, on extra a small screen, take the entire length of the 12 columns. On extra small, device is very small. Then if it is a small, then use basically two divisions, each of 6 column. If the device is medium, then use 4 columns at once. It means total there will be 3 sections: section 1, section 2, section 3. If it is a large device, then use 2 columns. So 2 columns means there will be 6 sections. And on extra large, use 1. So it means that on extra large, there will be 12 sections of 1 column length each. Is it a good practice to use all the BS4 classes in a single div? Yes. This is how we make it responsive. Now, let us copy paste it to all the div. Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. Okay. So now all my content from column 1 to 13 all will follow this rule. So if it is as extra small, so there will be only one section of 12 column width. If it is a small screen, so two sections will be of 6 column width. If it is medium, then 3. If it is a large, then 2. And if it is a XL, then only one column width. So total will be 12 sections. Let us see how does it look like on the our web page. Okay, now this is a bigger screen. Usually I zoom, that's why it was coming like that. So on a bigger screen, there are 12 columns in one row. Okay, now I will try to reduce the size. So once I start reducing, first extra large will become large, and on large, since I have specified 2 as the length, so maximum 6 will be there. So can you see it has changed from 12 to 6. Okay, now I will again reduce, and then for it will come to medium, and medium has 4 columns, so it means maximum 3 will be there. So let me reduce. So once it comes to medium, you can see that now only 3 sections are there of 4 length each. Now I will again reduce, and it has become to a small, and in a small I have specified 6 column width. So it means that there will be 6 into 2, 12. So 2 columns will be there, 2 sections will be there, sorry. And finally I will reduce to access, and on access only one column, only one section of entire 12 length is there. Is it clear? So this is how it has been made responsive, that depending on the screen size, I have selected how it should adjust itself. So if it is a bigger screen, automatically more content will be on the width. If it is a smaller content, I am reducing the number of sections and increasing the content visibility. Okay. Now, any question? Okay, no question. Good. I did not get why column is used here. Column is on. Okay, so basically what I am trying to do is that I am trying to arrange my content. So for demo purpose, I wrote column 1, 2, 3, 4, but actually some content will be there, like one image will be there, one paragraph will be there. Okay, so I want to, so if I reduce the column, so image will be bigger here, paragraph will also be bigger. And if I increase the device screen size, So since the width has increased, so I can adjust more content on the width wise. So that is why we are using column. Now, as I said earlier, that I can increase the size of the column. So image can take like 4, and it can take another 5, and so on. So it means that for image I am giving more space, for paragraph I am giving even more space, and so on. So this is for uh, the column is for specifying the layout, that how much space a div will take, or how much space an image will take, or how much space a paragraph will take on the screen. So column is only for specifying up to what width my screen, my content will be there. As soon once we see more examples, it will be more clear. Okay. Now Himanshu has asked what will happen if we use column MD7. So it will take 7, and after that, since it won't adjust in the remaining, it will go to the next line. Just like here, after 5, it automatically went to the next row. So now this is the Bootstrap grid. So depending on the screen size and what will be the container width and what will be the prefix. So prefix means what I will write for that screen size, column SM, for medium column MD, LG, and Excel. Number of columns is fixed. So there can be maximum 12 columns in a row. So again, I will repeat, just like in table, we arrange content like name, age, salary, serial number. So content looks good. So similarly here, instead of using table, we are using the row and column concept. Okay. And if you remember in the table, I was using row span for if my content is across more rows. So I was using row span, and if it has to fit in more than one column, so I was using column span. So same way here also, I may specify the column span. So it's like column 2 means it is taking 2 column span. Column 3 means it is taking 3 column space. And inside that 3 column space, I can put whatever content I want. Okay. Like if you see this table itself. Okay. So this column, this particular column, it is taking 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. So its column span is column 4. This is taking column 5 because its column span is across 5. Okay, let me see you an example. I'll just close this. I will take a simple example. Div class equal to column MD6. So on medium screen and above, it will take 6 columns, and then on a small screen, it will take 12 columns. Okay. In between, I will put a image source equal to img slash cdeck dot and for the next one, I'll put some content. Now I am just going with 2 classes. One is for medium screen, and it will take 6 column, and for a small and extra small, it will take 12 columns. Okay, now let us see how does it look like on our screen. Now if you see this, I have used on medium, I have used 6 columns. So it means since maximum 12 columns are there, so half a screen is taken by the image and half a screen is taken by the content text. Okay, so now this is clear. Now I will reduce the screen size. Once it goes lower than MD, image is coming on top because it is taking the entire 12 space. If you see here on a small and extra small, it will take entire 12, and text will take another 12. So text is taking another 12. So this is how I am changing the layout of my page. So I am saying basically that on medium and above, use 6 6. So since 6 is half of number of columns, so it is, that's why it is taking half the screen, and content is on half the screen. Now let us change it a bit more. So I will add one more row, and this time I will say that on extra large, you take 4. So in extra large, you take only 4 columns. Now let us see how does this look like. Now, can you see on extra large, it is since I specified 4. So 4 means if there are total 12 columns, so 1/3. So 1/3 text, then 1/3 image, and then 1/3 again text. Is it clear? So on Excel, I took 4. 4 means 1/3 of the screen. So 1/3 text, then 1/3 image, and then another 1/3 for the text. Now let us reduce the width. So once it goes to medium I have specified 6 column width. So automatically it will become 2. See, so half text, then half of the image, and the next text comes on the next line. You can see here again it has started with digital signature armed with legal sanctity. Okay. Now it will go to more half a screen. Now above, since for the extra small and small, I have specified 12 column width. So 12 means entire screen. So entire screen will be taken by first paragraph, then entire screen is taken by the image, and then again entire screen is taken by the second paragraph. Now is it clear? So this is how I am adjusting my content depending on what is the screen size. Otherwise, the content won't be visible. But can you see the content is now it is better if it is on a smaller screen? Okay. So I think now the concept of grid is clear. So we use this screen designing for any responsive website. And what is our design? How should it look like on a medium screen or a small screen? Depending on that, we select the column width. So what column width should be on a extra large, what column width should be on a medium, and what column width should be on a smaller and extra small, that we specify here. Now, one important concept is that if I suppose for Excel, I have not written anything. Okay, so how will it work? So it will check the lower level. So after Excel, lower level is LG, large, and after LG it is MD. So it will follow MD. So whichever is lower in the this class cycle, it will follow that for that screen size. So MD will work for both large and extra large. And similarly, this extra small will also work for a small. Since I have not written anything for a small, it will also work for a small. Okay. Now, so since this is clear, we'll move on to more grid example. So B4 dollar. Now, in the same example, the previous example, what I will do is I will simply change the container to container fluid. So container fluid is basically container fluid is basically it will take 100% of the width. So can you see it is taking the 100% width? Earlier it was taking in between, from here to here it was taking, now it is taking the 100% width. So this is the difference between container and container fluid. If I again change it back to this, you can see the content is coming in between the screen. Okay, next question is what is the standard column width for any web page? There is no any standard column width. It will depend on the screen size. Okay, so go to the PPT and you can see the sizes of the container. As since there are 12 number of columns, you can divide by that. Now, next one is gutter width. So gutter width is nothing but the padding So padding of each column is 15 pixel on each side. So ultimately it will become 30 pixel between two columns. So it is the padding. Nestable. Nestable means that I can declare another row inside a column. So just this, see this. So inside a column SM7, one new row has been added, and then that also has been divided in 9:3 ratio. So this is nesting of rows. In table also we can do that. So inside table, add another table with a row and columns. So it is same as that. So inside one column, I added one row, and inside that row, I added 9:3, two columns. Okay. So this we have already seen that on extra small, it will show on top and bottom, and on a larger screen, it will see side, you can see side by side. Okay, gutter is basically for each column. Gutter is for each column, there is a padding. So that padding is gutter width. So it is on the each side, means left and right side of the, you can simply understand this is padding left and padding right. That is the gutter. So total gutter width will be 30 pixel because it is on both sides. So 15 pixel of one column and 15 pixel of another. So total it will be 30 pixel. So basically if you go here, this is like the distance between this image and the content text. Okay, now, so another thing is ordering the content. So ordering the content is basically if this on a bigger screen, first text is coming and then the image. So I can set that on a smaller screen, first image should come and then the text should come. So for that ordering is used. So let us see. So we have a text and this image. Now on a smaller screen, okay. Oops. So it will automatically change. Next. Okay, vertical alignment. So vertical alignment is if I have a row height, so all the text should appear in the middle of that. Okay, so like this is coming in the middle of the this row height. Let us see how we can do it. So I will add one more row. So B4 row. and B4 column. So column column 4. I will take two. So column column 6 and column 6. So basically I'm only taking two of the content, and here I will write some content 1, and this is suppose content 2. And then for the row, I'm changing suppose height equal to suppose 200 pixel, or even 100 pixel is sufficient. And then for this row, I will set the border. So border and border primary. For this column also I will set the border and border, danger, border and border, success. Now, so basically I created a row. Inside row I have added two content of each 6 width, 6, 6, 12 total, and then I have added border. So for border I am using three classes, border primary, danger and success, just for the changing the color. Now let us see how does this look like. Okay, so can you see the this is the our row, and in this half of content 1 and content 2 is taken, but the width is so much high, but still the content is on top. It is not vertically in the center. Okay, so for that we use align items center. So in the row I will write align items center. Oops. So now you can see that those columns, they have come at the center of the row in the vertical alignment. Okay, so this is vertical alignment. Now next. So next is horizontal alignment. So if we have less columns used, so we can put it at the center. So let us, I will just copy paste it. So column 4 and column 4, 8, and I will declare one more column as auto, means no size, depending on what is the content, it will automatically change. So content 1, 2, 3, and this. So this time in the row there are 3 content. So first one is taking 4 column width, second one is taking automatic. Automatic means if content increase, its width will increase, and then finally last one is taking 4. So so let us first see how does this look like. So this look like this. So 4 and some auto content, whatever content width is there, if I increase the content, automatically it will also, the width will also increase. So if I increase the content, the width will increase. See, the width has increased. So second one is auto, and third one is again content 3. So I want it to be horizontally aligned at the center. So I will write justify content center. So in the row I have to add justify content center. So in this way, the content will come at the center. See, so some margin is left at the first, and similarly some margin is left at the end. So the content is now at the center. So this was vertical alignment, and this is horizontal centering. Okay. Anyway, it's already 10:30, so we'll break and see you at 10:45. Okay, welcome back. So I will just reiterate through the grid system. So any grid system, there is a container, and the container width will depend on the size of the screen. Now inside that container, I can add as many rows as I want, but the number of columns in the row is fixed. That is maximum 12. And to add a content, I can use either one column or more than one. So if I write column 4 means I am using 4 columns. Then after that I can use column 5. So for 5 columns, and remaining 3 I can use for column 3. Now all the different screen sizes it's difficult to capture all the different screen sizes. So that's why there are some size classes. So there are actually 5 size classes: XL for extra large screen, large LG, MD for medium, SM for a small, and by default extra small is for normal, column, hyphen, and the value. As I said that we can take more than one columns to show our content. So like in this example, it is taking 5 columns, and for this content, it is taking 7 columns. Then this is the detail of the width of the container depending on the size of the screen, and what prefix need to be used for the column. Then we checked about vertical alignment. So if row width is row height is more, then how can we vertically align the content at the center? And similarly horizontal alignment. So if content is less in the width, so how we can put it at the center of the screen. Now next part is column offset.
Sir, your screen is not visible, sir.
I'll just start. Now it was only the story. Okay. Now, so now next part is we will try to check what is offset. So suppose we have a few columns, and I want to put a gap in between them, or either from a starting or at the end. So for that we use offset. So offset 1, it means I am taking a offset of 1 column. So 1 column I will leave as it is. Now for second, suppose I put offset of 2, and the column width I will put as 5. Okay, now let us see how does this look like. So you can see content 1 is starting by taking an offset of 1, and then content 2 is starting and taking an offset or gap of 2 columns. So basically offset is gap. So if I want to take a gap of certain columns, so I can take using this gap. Okay, next. So this is offset. So I can take any gap of number of columns. So I can increase offset. Nested column, we already talked about that. I can add more columns, rows inside a column. So this is there, this is done. So now what do we understand in the grid? That we can add rows. Each row can have content, and content can take from 1 to 12 columns. So for one content, I can put to take only 4 columns, or I can put to 5 columns, 6 columns, depending on what is the layout that I want to keep. And then second way is that I specified that I can change the number of columns used on different screen. So I can say that column XL1, it means on extra large, take only 1 column. But on the extra small, I will write column 12. It means the screen is very small, then take the entire 12 columns. Similarly, for medium, I can write column medium 6. It means if it is a medium size screen, then take 6 columns at once. So this is how I can make my website responsive depending on the screen size, by defining how much space content will take on what size of device. So on large, it will take 1 column. On medium, it will take 2 column. On a small, it may take 3 column. On extra small, it should take entire 12 columns, and so on. Voice is breaking. Okay, I said nothing new. Just still I will repeat it, that we can adjust the content by how many columns it takes on a particular screen size. We already saw that in grid. So we already seen on grid that for medium take 6 columns, but for extra small and small take the entire 12 column. Okay, so